Hi, I'm Danny from Factor Electronics. We're very excited today to introduce you to the X66 Network Multi-Room Controller Amplifier. This is a brand new unit, redesigned from the ground up. This unit will provide sound in every room of your home. It comes with 2 Wi-Fi streamers built in, a direct Ethernet card. The installation is absolutely simple. Wire your speakers into the back of the amplifier, 1 cable from the X66 to your home router, download the app, and you're playing music in every room of your house. Like cooking in the kitchen, or lounging in your living room, or chillaxing in your personal sanctuary. All right, let's take a closer look. Let's take a closer look at the front panel of the X66. The X66 has a very thick anodized aluminum front panel. Power switch, there's 6 LEDs on the bottom. When the LEDs are blue, the amps are in standby mode. When the LEDs are white, the amps are turned on, and there's also a red light indicating clip or an overload situation. Now let's take a close look at the back panel. The X66 comes with 2 Digistream 1 Wi-Fi streamers built right in and a direct Ethernet card. And as I mentioned earlier, it's very, very easy to install this unit into a home or into a commercial application like a business. The X66 comes with 6 stereo amplifiers, 50 watts per speaker, 100 watts per zone per unit. Now you can expand the X66 from 6 zones to 12 zones or to 18 zones by adding 1 more unit or 2 more units, and they all daisy chain together. Now you'll notice on the Digistream 1 Wi-Fi streamers that there is an Ethernet jack. You do not need to connect anything to these jacks. There's 1 Ethernet connection on the back of the X66. Everything is paralleled internally, so it's just 1 cable from the Ethernet connection to your router. Now, one of the unique features of the X66 is the preamp output section. Every single amplifier has its own individual stereo preamp out. And what you can use that for is you can take that signal to a subwoofer in one of your rooms, or you can take that signal for connecting to larger amplifiers, like in a commercial application for a bar or a restaurant or say a gym. You could go to a 2,000 watt amplifier like a PA1000 or a 3,000 watt amplifier like a PA2000, and that zone can have as much power as you want. Another unique feature of the preamp outputs on the X66, each one of them has a bridge mono or stereo switch. So if you're connecting the amplifier to a pair of speakers and you want to run it in stereo, you'd have the switch set to stereo. You could also set the switch to bridge mono, in which case you'd get 100 watts out of every single output. And you can use that in commercial applications, dentist's office, doctor's office, things like that. But also, when you change the switch to bridge mono, it also monos the preamp out. So you get a dual mono signal that you would take to a 70 volt amplifier or a paging amplifier or something of that nature. The X66 comes with 6 analog inputs. 1 SPDIF digital optical input. This digital optical input could be connected to your television for your audio return channel. Inputs 1 and 2, you could connect CD players, DVD players, Blu-ray players. Inputs 3 and 4 are hardwired to the Digistream Wi-Fi streamers. Now you can override the Wi-Fi streamers simply by plugging a CD player or an RCA cable into inputs 3 or 4, and then you will override automatically the internal Wi-Fi streamer. The X66 also has an expansion section. It comes with an expansion cable in the box, and what this allows you to do is connect additional X66 units, up to 3 units for 18 zones, and the expansion cable will take all of your sources, your IR information and control information, and port it from the master unit down to unit number 2 and unit number 3. The X66 has a direct Ethernet card. All you do to connect this to your home network is take 1 Cat5 cable, plug it into the Ethernet port, connect it to the LAN port on your router, and that is it, you're done. The X66 also has an RS-232 port, so you can control this from Control 4 and Compass Control and other control systems like RTI simply by connecting there. There's a slide switch that selects between the Ethernet port control or the RS-232 port control. Moving along now to the 12-volt DC trigger section. The X66 provides 12-volt DC outputs on every single channel. There's also an all 12-volt DC output. The 12-volt trigger section can be used to trigger other peripheral devices like amplifiers. It can have your projection screen come down. There's a multitude of things that you can do with the 12-volt triggers, and they turn on and off whenever a zone is turned on or off. In addition to that, if you insert 12 volts into the PA-in jack, the X66 will go into page mode and input 1 will be broadcast in all other zones. The X66 can be controlled 3 different ways. 1 from the keypads, 2 from the app, or 3 from IR remote control. Each X66 keypad has an IR remote receiver which transfers the infrared signal from the keypad down to the X66, and you can use these IR outputs to control peripheral devices like CD players, AM/FM tuners, your home receiver, or anything that can be controlled through IR. The X66 has what's called an AGC switch, and when this is in the on position, it'll control the levels of your sources. Because there's 6 inputs in the X66, they could be at all different levels, and you don't want massive level changes when you're switching from one source to the next. So the AGC switch allows you to level everything out so everything is nice and clean, and you don't have big level jumps in between your sources. There's also a keypad port on the X66. We'll talk about the keypads a little bit later, but you can use up to 6 keypads for each X66 unit. So in an 18-zone system, you could have a keypad in every room, and 18 zones could all be controlled from the keypad, from the app, or from IR remote control. And last but not least, the AC power input, which is switchable between 115 volts and 230 volts. So the X66 can be used in North America, can also be used in Europe. We've designed a brand new iOS and Android control app that controls every feature and every function of the X66 and also the Digistream Wi-Fi streamers. Let's take an in-depth look of how to connect to the X66, how to get it up and running on your network, and how to control every feature and function of the X66. I'm going to assume at this point that everybody knows how to download an app from either the Google Play Store or the iTunes App Store. When you go onto these sites, just search for Factor X66 and the app will come up, and hit the download button and it'll download automatically on your device. Now I have the app installed on both the Samsung tablet and this iPad Pro. Once you have the app downloaded on your device, I have the app downloaded on both of these devices. This is the icon for the X66. So what you're going to do is touch the app icon, and the app is going to load. The very first thing you're going to do, this is something you need to do when you first connect your X66, is you need to establish a connection between the X66, your home LAN network, and obviously your Wi-Fi device. So you want to make sure that you are on your home network or your business network or wherever you want to be controlling the X66. And then the very first thing you're going to do is press the connection button. Now when you press the connection button, you're going to see that there's an auto connect and there's a manual connect. So there's 2 ways to connect the device. And keep in mind that you only have to do this once. That's when you initially connect to the unit. So you would press auto, and the app will try to find the X66 on the network. There's another way that you can do it, and you can manually insert the IP address just by touching on here. And when you do that, the keypad comes up and it allows you to type in the IP address of the X66, and that's a much faster way sometimes of connecting. Now, if you don't know the IP address of the X66, there's a very easy way to find it, and all you need to do is download an app called Fing, and it's available on the iTunes Store and the Google Play Store. We have no affiliation with Fing, but it's a very easy app to find IP addresses on your network. So I have it installed, and I'm just going to touch the icon for Fing. And as I look down this list, I'm going to see my factor devices here. This is the factor Wi-Fi streamer, there's the factor X66, and it tells me what the IP address is of that device. So all I have to do is touch on that, and it's going to give me the IP address. I write down the IP address, and then I can go back to my other screen, and I can manually insert the IP address in the connection screen. When you're making the initial connection to the X66, what you're going to find is that the screen is going to be grayed out. So you're not going to see these green boxes around your zones. It'll be grayed out. Now, as soon as you see these green boxes, you know that your app is actually connected to the X66. Once the X66 is actually connected and your boxes are lighting up green, the next thing you want to do is you want to download the iEast Play app. And you can do that by touching this icon, and it'll automatically go to the iEast download page. Now, once you open up the iEast page, this is where your Wi-Fi streamers are going to be controlled. And this is where you're going to be choosing your music and things like that. Now, you can see that the iEast app has found two devices here, the factor 01OC and the factor 111140. Okay, so these are the two Wi-Fi streamers. Now, if I touch on one of these, it's going to allow me to select different music to play. So if we start at the top, we can search for music, we can go to our favorites, we can play My Music, which is music that is stored physically on the device, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Internet Radio, Spotify, Tidal, TuneIn, Napster, QQ Biz, and there are more apps. So there's many, many things that you can do with these Wi-Fi streamers. So let's just go to TuneIn, for instance. Let's pick some music to play. I'm just going to go down here and I'm going to select some music, and there's many, many different types of music that you can select. Let's go to Dance and Electronic, and let's pick this one, Chill Tracks. So now that is playing on my Wi-Fi streamer. When I swipe over, you'll see that Chill Tracks is actually playing here. Now what we want to do is we want to be able to hear that. So let's go back to our X66 app, turn your zones on, and voila, we're hearing music. And here we can adjust the volume with the volume fader. I'm sure you can hear that. Now, there's some other features. Right now I'm in party mode. There's all zones on, all zones off. So I just turn the zones off. I can turn the zones on. And party mode allows me to be in zone 1 and control the entire house from zone 1. So the first thing you're going to want to do once you get the app connected is you're going to want to name your zones. If you look across the top, you'll see that I have 6 zones here, and when I touch them, they become illuminated, meaning that I'm controlling that particular zone. And if I want to add a name to this zone, let's say this is kitchen, just hold my finger down on kitchen, touch kitchen, and now I can type in whatever name I want, and then I just hit done, and the zone will be named. So let's go through and name every single one of our zones. So now that you can see, I've got every single one of my zones named. I've got kitchen, living room, great room, master bedroom, bedroom 2, bedroom 3. Now you can name these anything you want, and those names correspond to my zones across the top. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to name your sources. So touch on the source icon, and again, you have your 6 sources listed, and you can name them anything you want. It's very simple. Hold your finger. The touchpad comes up, and I can name my sources anything I want. I have them named as CD player, Blu-ray player on input 2, Wi-Fi streamer on source 3, Wi-Fi streamer 2 on source 4. Then I have an AM/FM tuner connected to source 5, and I have my TV ARC audio return channel connected to source 6 on the X66. The X66 has 2 Digistream 1 Wi-Fi streamers built right in. What that means is that I can have 2 completely independent streams. I can play any stream in any room at any time. So let's turn the unit on. You can see that I have music playing here on Wi-Fi streamer 3. Let's go to our Wi-Fi streamers, and we can see that I've got music playing on the first Wi-Fi streamer, and I've got some talk radio, sports radio on the second Wi-Fi streamer. Okay, so how do we switch between those? So let's go to our input section. We've got music on Wi-Fi streamer 1. Let's switch to our talk radio. And there it is.
Rooms are outstanding. Welcome to the newly renovated Prince Albert Inn.
Or I can switch back to music. And I can do that with any one of my 6 sources. And the third thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to adjust your treble, bass, and balance controls in every room by touching this button. So very simply, touch on the treble bass, and you can adjust these by adding more bass, less bass. Let's just turn this up so you can hear the difference. So let's add some more bottom end here. More treble, I'm sorry. So I can set up every single zone to have independent treble, bass, and balance controls. One of the cool things about this app is that I can go to any zone and I can change my treble, bass, and balance in any zone. I don't have to go into the zone, close the zone, go to another zone. I can jump across to any zone and adjust my treble, bass, and balance anytime I want. Now, switching between your Wi-Fi streaming app and the X66 app is simple. It's a little bit different between the iOS version and the Android version just because of the architecture of these 2 devices. But I'll explain it to you now. It's very, very simple. So if I have my X66 app and I want to go to my my Wi-Fi streamer, I just press the music icon at the bottom and I'm at my Wi-Fi streamers, and then I can adjust either one any way that I want. And on the Apple device, it's slightly different. What you're going to do is you're going to take your finger at the bottom of the screen and you're going to swipe up. And if you swipe up slowly, you'll get both devices on the screen. So if I want to go to my Wi-Fi streamers, I go there. And if I want to go to my X66 app, I go there. Very simple. All the devices in your home, your iPhone, your iPad, your tablets, can all be connected to the X66 simultaneously. You can see that I have 2 devices, but you can have up to 256 devices connected and controlling the X66 in your home. So every member of your family can have control of their own zone and their own music and play whatever they want to play. So it's very, very simple to control, very, very simple to use. And all you do is hit a couple buttons, select some music, turn it up, and enjoy. Now the app allows you to select all zones on, which you can see I'm doing right now, and controlling the volume. Or you can select individual zones to be turned on just by touching the on-off button. And you can see that I'm playing a single zone. I can go to any zone, turn it on or off. I can have zone 1 and zone 5 on and the rest off. So it's very simple and very easy to configure whatever zones you want to have on or off. As I mentioned earlier, the X66 can be controlled from the app or from keypads, and you'll see that the 2 can work together. Now these keypads would be installed in separate rooms of your home, and the installation is quite simple. It's just a single Cat5 or Cat6 cable from each keypad, which is home run back to the X66. Now you can see I have the app here, and if I hit all zones on, you'll see that all my zones come on automatically. And if I adjust the volume, you'll see that all zones are tracking with the wireless app as well. And additionally, I can go to any zone. I can turn it up, turn it down, select a different source if I want to just by touching the keypad. But this is a very easy way to have both types of controls. Some people are very app friendly, and then other people like to have a tactile control on the wall, and the X66 provides that kind of control. But you'll see that the app and the keypads work in tandem together. Thank you for joining us today. We're very excited about the X66. I'm sure the X66 is going to provide you with many years of music enjoyment in your home or your business. Visit us at www.factorelectronics.com.